Akwana otu so jeni blow no makwache no.
Việt Nam đi chung lòng yêu quốc, bước chân dồn vang trên đường ân người xa, cờ in máu chiến thắng mang hồn nước.
One of the issues I think with climate change is people see it as just a planetary issue or an environmental issue, but as you're pointing out, it's a human issue, right?
It's a human issue. I mean, for us, there's a direct correlation between what happens to the land, what happens to the planet, the environment, and what happens to the people that live on the earth.
Right.
We must change the world, and we must prevent the criminal class, the criminal capitalist class, you know, that's even in African and Caribbean governments. It's not just about European governments, it's also how we are maintaining that in terms of our ruling elites. And we have to look at where the alternatives are coming from the below, from the grassroots who are rising up. So yes, rise up in rebellion.
Rise up in rebellion.
Greetings. My name is Esther Stanford-Xosei, and I'm joined in conversation with Kofi Mawuli. We are both part of the Extinction Rebellion Internationalist Solidarity Network. So tell us, Kofi, what is this XR? Is this what you mean when you refer to XR as being an umbrella canopy?
Harboring a wide diversity of forces from all communities whose interest lies in trying to make sense of and find solutions to the now glaring threat posed by the climate and ecological crisis. And because a lot of these forces are just from communities of ordinary people, still currently mostly white, because it started in Europe, and its initial formulations and concepts and approaches have been determined by mostly white activists, drawing upon white experiences of organizing and even of trying to make sense of the climate and ecological crisis.
Taking up this issue, or this framing, if you like, I should say, of XR being an umbrella canopy, when I think about a canopy, and even in your own elaborate explanation, you think of, as you said, I think you used the word of giving shade to, and that sort of implies that there's a healthy coexistence between the various entities that XR is giving shade to. But surely the controversy that in particular, I mean, it's not that I don't want to focus on the USA, because these issues around racial inclusion or exclusivity, whiteness, they have come up in Europe as well. But are you not ascribing to XR a role that it hasn't yet grown into having? Because all these different forces that are vying, if you like, or who've been brought together because we share a common interest in the climate and ecological emergency. But what is the interrelationship and the nature of how these various component parts and stakeholders engage with each other and relate in Extinction Rebellion?
Yes, you're correct. The need to address the question of what is XR, particularly in the light of this controversy brewing between XR USA and now XR America, it goes beyond just what is happening, in the United States of America. The various communities here in the UK, here in Europe, including our global South diasporan communities here, particularly African heritage communities, are themselves trying to make sense of what is this Extinction Rebellion. How do they relate to it? Can they expect anything positive as far as their own particular situations, their own trajectory, their own traditions of rebellion? Can they expect anything out of it? And we've heard different kinds of even, white activists within Extinction Rebellion give different descriptions, to Extinction Rebellion, present different ideas about what Extinction Rebellion is and what they're trying to do, within it. So I draw the parallel between the proverbial, elephant and the blind name givers. Some hold the ear and think that it's like some huge, but some hold the trunk and and the legs and think that it's like a tree. Some hold the tail and think it's like a snake. So there are people giving different kind. Even the activists within Extinction Rebellion, some in quite prominent places who are speaking to the media and speaking to audiences, give very, very different views on what they see as a character of this Extinction Rebellion.
That may
But
be that may
when
be the case, but Extinction Rebellion does have clearly defined aims and
yes,
values.
yes,
Okay, so even though yes, that they may be subject to different interpretations.
well, that is the problem, that all these values are so vague, and so generalized, that, for example, Extinction Rebellion itself says that, we welcome all and every part of everybody, and so they make this call to everybody to join them, and that there's no naming and shaming, everybody should be just one happy, family trying to focus on the issues around the climate and ecological crisis and see the emergency and work together to draw attention of governments, to doing something, about it, represent our stakeholders. So that is it. But, in reality, that doesn't concretize what it is. And when I say, it is to me like an umbrella canopy.
Yeah.
You see, just picture, a canopy tree, with widespread branches, providing shade, to all kinds of creatures that would find place, amongst the branches of that tree. Now, the different kinds of creatures could actually include those that prey on each other. So the fact that there is, a canopy tree and it can harbor different kinds of, creatures, that's only that those creatures, when they come into that canopy tree, they will find life comfortable and easy and no threats, even, within or under that tree. And that is precisely the issue with Extinction Rebellion, that all those who, for various reasons, right, various groups that are coming into Extinction Rebellion have different reasons why they are concerned about the climate and ecological crisis. Okay. But they share a concern, right? That this poses a threat or is something that something has to be done about. And they've come together to figure out, and make some contributions to that. But it doesn't mean that they don't have an easy life together, right?
Okay.
But the very fact that we start off with, those who are not indifferent to the climate and ecological crisis, who don't think that it's somebody else's business, but who think that there is something they have to do, right? And regardless of what they know, regardless of the experience they have, regardless of their background, they feel that, they need themselves to come together into a space where they can try to do something about it. That is the starting point. That is the given. We're calling everybody.
Yeah.
But for me, we're clear on who is being called, to come together. Those who have concern about the climate and ecological crisis, who are not in denial, certainly not those who are hostile, but also not those who may seek to take advantage of the crisis, either to further do harm.